So now we're going to think about the final top tier of the ART framework, competency. Essentially, this involves the skills we're expecting children to learn at nursery, learning to be part of the group, of society. There are usually thought to be 7 basic executive functions: impulse control, so things like waiting, taking turns; flexible thinking, maybe managing change and transitions; working memory, that's the ability to remember information while in the middle of an activity, so maybe like following instructions; self-monitoring, sharing; planning and prioritisation; task initiation; and organisation. These executive functions help children to act rather than to react by using higher order cognitive processes to solve problems. And back to what we've learned about the brain, it's the cortex, the upstairs brain, that's mainly responsible for enabling us to do these things. We know children who've experienced trauma are more often than not operating from their limbic systems, their downstairs brain, not from their cortex. So while they've got really good at surviving, they've missed out on developing these higher order cognitive processes. And without these, as they get older, the gap with their peers is going to get wider and wider. They need extra help to develop these skills that might come more easily to children who've had a good enough start in life. By practicing, you can build connections in the brain, and we know from science about the plasticity of the brain. I know that from my CAMS work. I've seen children learn to control their impulses, learn to tolerate not knowing, learn to manage difficult situations, but they need lots and lots and lots of practice. And parents and professionals alike sometimes avoid putting children who've experienced trauma in these situations because it's so tricky for everyone concerned. In the same way, children gain a sense of their identity, where they come from, who they are, by having this mirrored back by their caregivers. Trauma can get in the way of this happening at times and can impact on children's sense of self-esteem. Nursery is an opportunity to help parents and children notice unique things about themselves, their likes, dislikes, values, opinions, culture. How do we celebrate success for children who don't necessarily feel good about themselves? Displaying children's accomplishments, art on the wall, all about me books, activities celebrating diversity like culture-specific meals and religious holiday celebrations. I'm sure you can think of many, many more examples. I'd like you to think about the things that you're already doing for the children you work with and their parents to support their executive function and sense of identity. What's working well? What's not working? And what more could you do to support them? So in brief, that is the ART framework. The central idea of it is that trauma derails development and that you can get ahead of the problem by using a trauma lens and preparing for predictable challenges. Children who've experienced trauma can be helped to feel safer in their bodies by learning greater self-awareness and self-regulation strategies that can override primitive brain responses, but it's hard and takes time. Good intervention goes beyond therapy. There are opportunities every day in our moment-by-moment interactions to make a difference. Thank you, and good luck.